You call this food? My husband hissed after inviting his family over for dinner. My parents aren't strays. Don't feed them scraps. His in-laws froze. But his jaw dropped when I whispered back. I didn't order this. My name is Mei Lin. I'm 28, a UX designer on maternity leave, and I used to think I had the perfect life. I was married to Kenji. Funny, charming, the kind of guy who made you believe in forever. We met at a mountain retreat where he made everyone laugh, but somehow made me feel like the only person in the room. After a year together, he proposed during a seaside picnic. I said yes without hesitation. My parents adored him. His parents, Hiroshi and Yuki, welcomed me like their own daughter. Yuki called me her second daughter. Hiroshi brought wine and dad jokes every visit. Both families helped us buy our starter home. I thought I'd won the lottery. Then I got pregnant, and everything shifted. Kenji was thrilled at first. I'll be the best dad ever, he promised. I'll work extra so our baby has everything. And he did work extra. Late nights, claiming overtime. But the bigger my belly grew, the more distant he became. I rationalized it. He's stressed. This is how he shows love. But love doesn't look like forgetting to ask how your pregnant wife feels after she's spent the day vomiting. It doesn't look like turning shared responsibilities into solo performances. When I was working, we split everything. When pregnancy hit, Kenji insisted on taking over. At first, he cooked, did laundry, even rubbed my swollen feet. But the later he worked, the less he did. Eventually, everything fell back on me. My pregnancy made me invisible. At 6 months, I took maternity leave. I was grateful for the break, but underestimated how hard it would be. Home alone, sick, hormonal, trying to keep everything perfect. Kenji acted like I was living in luxury. One evening, he came home early. I was on the couch, completely drained. No dinner ready. You're just lying there, he frowned. I've been nauseous all afternoon. I needed a minute. He stared at the empty kitchen. You've been home all day, Mei Lin. There's nothing ready. I work 10 hours and come home to this. My heart stopped. I'm growing a human being, Kenji. I'm doing my best. Oh, here we go, he muttered. You always play the pregnancy card when you don't want to do anything. The words hit like ice. Are you kidding me? No, I'm not. You've checked out. You're not working. You barely do anything around here. My throat tightened. What do you want from me? A wife or a full-time maid? He shook his head like I was being dramatic. I want you to stop acting like carrying a baby gives you a free pass. I didn't yell. Didn't cry. I stood up, walked past him, and said, I'm staying with my parents. I need peace. Fine. Do whatever you want. And I did. I packed that night. Dad picked me up the next morning without a word. Just squeezed my hand in the driveway. Mom had already prepared my old room with lavender lotion on the nightstand. I felt safe. 2 weeks passed. Then 3. I sent Kenji one pregnancy update. He never responded. Then one afternoon, my parents opened the door to find Hiroshi and Yuki standing there. I was folding baby clothes when Mom called, Mei Lin, you have visitors. I froze. Yuki stepped inside, face drawn with worry. Hiroshi held groceries, looking equally uncomfortable. We're so sorry, Yuki said immediately. We had no idea what happened. Kenji never told us you left. Hiroshi added, we stopped by your place. When you weren't there, we pressed him until he admitted it. We're embarrassed, we thought everything was fine. They stayed over an hour, offering apologies and childhood stories about Kenji. I smiled politely, but inside I was torn. Maybe someone in that family still had compassion. Days later, Kenji appeared on my parents' porch. No call, no text. I'm sorry, he said, looking exhausted. I shouldn't have said what I said. I didn't mean to make you feel alone. I crossed my arms. You didn't make me feel alone, Kenji. You left me alone. I know. I was overwhelmed, stressed, but I want to fix this. I wanted to believe him. I told him I'd come back after the baby was born. No stress in my final trimester. He agreed. Or said he did. The birth asterisk. Sakura was born on a rainy October morning after 14 hours of labor. Mom held my hand through the final pushes because Kenji was stuck in traffic, working late the night before our daughter's birth. He arrived just in time to hear her first cry. The look on his face was raw, shaken, tear-filled. For a moment, I believed things would be different. We brought Sakura home wrapped in hope. The first few days blurred together. Diapers, tiny hiccups, visitors with casseroles. Kenji was tender at first, cradling her like glass, kissing my forehead as I drifted in and out of sleep. But his phone never stopped buzzing. Even during feedings. Even when I cried in the shower. Always staying in the loop. By week 2, he was back at work full-time. That's when reality hit. Sakura had colic. She screamed for hours every night. Wouldn't latch properly. I was pumping between feedings just to keep up. I was bleeding, leaking, sweating through 2 shirts nightly. I hadn't slept more than 2 hours straight in days. Kenji would step over burp cloths, kiss Sakura once, and say, "You've got this, babe," as he left with his travel mug. I didn't have this. I was drowning. He started coming home past 9 again. And when he did, he expected dinner. Some nights, I was too weak to stand. One brutal evening, I fell asleep holding Sakura in the rocker. I woke up to find her finally peaceful, my shirt soaked with milk. I stumbled to the kitchen, reheated soup, left it for Kenji. He walked in, looked around, raised an eyebrow. "Soup again. It's the best I could do. She hasn't stopped crying since noon." He gave a tight smile. "You know my parents are coming Saturday, right? I'd appreciate if you actually plan something decent." Yuki already texted. She said not to stress about food. Kenji snorted. "That's just politeness. I don't want them thinking you can't manage a simple lunch." The confrontation asterisk. That week was pure chaos. Sakura's sleep got worse. I was running on caffeine and dry shampoo. The night before the visit, I tried cooking pasta bake. Sakura had a meltdown halfway through. I had to abandon it. By morning, I was shaking from exhaustion. Kenji left early. "Remember, no store-bought junk. I want my mom to think we've got it together." Desperate, I called a gourmet deli. Ordered artisan appetizers, marinated olives, rosemary focaccia, truffle hummus, prosciutto, imported cheeses, handcrafted crackers. Even grabbed tulips from the corner florist. As I arranged everything, the doorbell rang. Yuki and Hiroshi stood beaming on the porch. Surprise. Yuki held white wine and a warm smile. Hiroshi raised a bag. "We figured you needed reinforcements." I almost cried. They took over immediately. Yuki scooped up Sakura like she'd been waiting all week. Hiroshi opened wine and unpacked food from the same deli I'd used. I told them about my order. Yuki laughed. "Perfect. We're having a feast. Honestly, I wish someone had done this when Kenji was born." She noticed my dark circles. "You haven't slept, have you?" "Not really." "Then go lie down. We've got Sakura. We've got food. Go." I didn't argue. I drifted off to sounds of Sakura gurgling, Hiroshi humming, Yuki cooing over her granddaughter. When I woke, the house was quiet until keys jingled in the door. "Maylin, are you seriously sleeping right now?" I sat up, groggy. Kenji stood holding the deli platter, looking disgusted. "What are these? You bought appetizers? Are you kidding me?" My chest tightened. "What are you talking about? I asked you to cook. My parents are here and this is what you give them." He shook his head. I'll throw this crap away and make something myself. Wait. Kenji. Your dad brought those. He stopped. What? Your parents brought those. I didn't order them. His eyes narrowed. You're lying. Before I could speak, a voice cut through the room like a blade. She's not lying. Hiroshi stood in the doorway with wine. Yuki was behind him, holding Sakura. You bought those appetizers? Kenji asked, clearly thrown. Hiroshi walked forward. Yes. Yuki picked them out. I paid. We figured Mei-Lin would be exhausted. Kenji's jaw tightened. Oh. I just thought. You didn't think, Hiroshi snapped. Yuki's voice was colder than I'd ever heard. You assumed and insulted your wife in front of your daughter. Kenji went pale, tried to laugh it off. Hiroshi wasn't smiling. I thought you'd grown up after what happened before the baby. But you're still the same entitled kid who thinks everyone exists to serve him. Kenji looked at me, then his parents. I'm sorry. I didn't know. You didn't ask, Yuki said. You just yelled. Silence settled. Then Kenji's phone buzzed twice on the dining table. Yuki, closest to it, glanced at the screen. Her face froze, then hardened. She picked it up. Who's Aiko? Kenji's eyes widened. Mom. She held up the phone and read aloud. You left your sweatshirt and lighter here. Can't wait for next time. My heart dropped. Yuki held the phone steady, though her voice quivered. You want to explain this? Everyone could see it. Everyone except Sakura, sleeping peacefully, unaware her father was unraveling. It's not what you think. Then explain it. It's just a message from someone at work. It's not serious. Hiroshi stepped forward. Kenji, are you having an affair? Kenji didn't answer. The silence stretched until it snapped. I turned, voice steady. How long? He swallowed. Since you went to your parents. I didn't mean for it to go that far. We were fighting. I was lonely. Hiroshi's voice stayed low. She was pregnant with your daughter. What kind of man leaves his pregnant wife and pretends he's working overtime while meeting another woman? Yuki stared like she didn't recognize him. We trusted you. We defended you. You were gone. Kenji snapped. You just left. I left to survive, I said, stepping forward. You think I wanted to go? You made this house unbearable. You made me feel like a burden for carrying your child. He ran his hands through his hair. I'm sorry. Okay. It didn't mean anything. Her name's Aiko, right? I kept my tone flat. Kenji's mouth dropped. How? Your phone lit up while you were too busy accusing me of laziness. Yuki's hands dropped to her sides. You said you wanted to fix things, be better. But you came here, insulted your wife, lied again, and now this. Kenji opened his mouth, but Hiroshi raised his hand. Don't. His father turned to me. Do you want him out? Yes. Tonight. Kenji's jaw dropped. You're kicking me out of my own house? You forfeited your place here. I won't share a roof with someone who disrespects me in front of my child. Hiroshi nodded and walked down the hall. He returned with a duffel bag, set it at Kenji's feet. You'll stay with us until this is resolved. Kenji looked at his mother. Mom. Yuki's response was simple. You're our son, but that doesn't make you right. I picked up Sakura and walked to the nursery as they escorted him out. I didn't look back. The resolution asterisk. 3 days later, the doorbell rang. Yuki and Hiroshi stood there. No Kenji. Just them and a manila folder. He signed everything, Hiroshi said. We didn't let him argue. Yuki placed the folder on the table. Full custody, divorce terms, child support. Clean and simple. Then she handed me a white envelope. It's from us, she said softly. So you don't struggle because of what he did. Inside was a check generous enough for months of breathing room. I don't want to take money from you. You're not, Hiroshi said. You're taking it from people who believe in protecting the innocent. Yuki added, he's going to repay every penny. We've taken over his salary and expenses. No more online orders. No credit cards. He gets weekly allowance, just enough for work and food. And Sakura's trust? We'll make sure it gets paid monthly. If not, he answers to us. The documents weren't just legal. They were merciful. They gave me freedom. I signed that afternoon. Kenji never contacted me. Didn't show up. I didn't expect him to. Later, I learned Aiko ghosted him the moment the divorce became public. Word spread at his office. HR reassigned him to internal admin. No bonuses. No promotions. He moved into a basement unit near the bus line. Yuki texted monthly to confirm child support deposits. Never missed a message. The new beginning asterisk. Sakura and I stayed with my parents until spring. Mom helped with night feedings. Dad fixed up my childhood room. There was always soup, clean towels, laughter in that house. Even on days I couldn't laugh. When I returned to work, my boss welcomed me with flexible schedules. Colleagues left sticky notes, "You've got this," and one meeting at a time. I found a small 2-bedroom near a park with soft light and quiet mornings. Sakura's room is filled with second-hand books and oversized stuffed animals. She lines up like sentinels around her crib. One afternoon, while she napped, I stood in the kitchen and realized the silence felt good. It wasn't empty anymore. It was mine. Friends ask if I miss being married. No, I tell them. I miss the version of myself I imagined I'd become. I miss the fairy tale I held on to too long. But the marriage. I don't miss apologizing for being exhausted. I don't miss cleaning while holding back tears. I don't miss being made to feel like I failed for not cooking on 2 hours of sleep. I don't miss Kenji. People ask if I regret anything. Yes. I regret shrinking. I regret softening every edge of myself to avoid conflict. I regret making excuses for a man who didn't deserve them. But I don't regret walking away. I don't regret choosing peace over pretending. I don't regret packing a bag, taking my daughter, and never looking back. And I definitely don't regret saying, "This ends here." Because it did. And I'm still here, still standing. Finally free.